Hello, this is Candy from Eyes2Jesus.blogspot.com and welcome to Thanksgiving with Eyes2Jesus. So you can see in my background there are some presents. That's because we do not celebrate Christmas. Thanksgiving is our big holiday, and we do gift exchanges on Thanksgiving as well as a big feast, and we just have a whole lot of fun. So let's get started. This is Wednesday, which is obviously the day before Thanksgiving. This is when I do a lot of cooking and baking, so it's part of my Thanksgiving. So we're going to start Thanksgiving with Eyes2Jesus with some cooking. But first, let me just give you a little tour of the presents. Obviously, we don't do Christmas trees or anything like that, so presents just kind of get stacked where I can fit them. So they're kind of stacked on top of my planter shelves and such in the bedroom. This is all presents for the family that we'll be unwrapping tomorrow morning, Thanksgiving morning. And then up here on my printer are some presents for a family that we'll be doing gift exchanges with this weekend. So yeah, let's get started with Thanksgiving with Eyes2Jesus. Alright, so now I'm in the kitchen. I'm doing my cooking and my baking for Thanksgiving. I'm not going to give you as much detail as I did in last year's video because then it's just going to be a repeat of last year's video. I'm making a lot of the same stuff. So, like last Thanksgiving, I am right now working on sweet potato casserole and cranberry cobbler to begin with. My sweet potatoes have been peeled, chopped, and cooked. They are in a strainer in the sink. I just drained them. And I just started putting together stuff for my cranberry cobbler, and I just finished making the cobbler topping in my mixer. So I am now popping the bread-like cobbler mixture stuff, whatever it's called, on top of my cranberry mixture of fresh cranberries, almonds, and sugar. So getting my batter on top. And then once I'm done with that, then the cranberry cobbler is going to go into the oven, and that needs to be in the oven longer than my sweet potatoes, but they both go at 350. So while my cranberry cobbler is in the oven, I am going to put together my sweet potato casserole and add that to the oven. And I got this cool timer. It's an Accurite. It's got 3 different timers on it. And that's going to be handy because I'm going to probably at one point have 3 different timers going for some different things. And definitely going to have 2 timers going most of the time today. So I am just spreading around the batter on top of the cranberry cobbler. And it is time to get this into the oven, get the sweet potato casserole put together and get that into the oven. And they're both cooking at the same temperature. They'll both be on the same shelf, middle shelf, but they'll be on different times. So I'll have 2 different times set on my timer. So the cranberry cobbler is in the oven. I am just putting the finishing touches on the sweet potato casserole, and then it's going to go in the oven too. So I am topping it with a whole bunch, in fact a whole bag of miniature white marshmallows, because these are going to melt down on top, and that's the key to my sweet potato casserole. If you would like to know how I make my sweet potato casserole, I may have the recipe on my blog, but I also show how I make it in my Thanksgiving with Eyes2Jesus that I made last year. So you can find that in my Day in the Life of Me playlist. I think is where I'm keeping those at. Okay, here goes the last of the marshmallows.
I'm taking 2 of them.
Marshmallow Thief came in and took some.
No.
And here we go. So now, normally this goes in for 35 minutes, but I'm going to stick it in for 25 minutes, and then I'm going to do the last 10 minutes of it tomorrow when I heat it up for the feast. So I'm going to pop this in next to the cranberry cobbler and set it on its own timer. So last year's pies, I believe, are chocolate custard pie and coconut cream pies for Thanksgiving and New Year's. So this year I'm going to do some cream pies instead of custard pies. Those are harder, they're more from scratch, and they take more time. So I'm going to get started on a chocolate cream pie. If you'd like to see how I did a chocolate custard pie last year, that recipe is on my blog at eyes2jesus.blogspot.com. So I removed jewelry, my hands are clean, and in my mixing bowl here, I just threw in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I like to use sea salt. And on top of that, I'm going to put in 1 1/3 cups of white flour. What I'm doing right now is making a crust. All right, and then need some milk, 3 tablespoons of milk. 1 and 2 and 3. And then I need to put in a 1/2 stick of butter. Now I cannot find my pastry cutter, so I'm just going to mix this by hand, which is fine. I actually end up doing my crust by hand at least half the time anyways, if not most of the time. So what I'm doing right now is I am just pinching the butter I put in here into the flour, and then I'm breaking up the butter into smaller clumps. And then I'm just kind of rolling it off of my fingers. So the butter's coming down now in smaller clumps, and then I'm mixing it around in the flour and salt and a little bit of milk. So a pie crust dough should be a very dry and crumbly, lumpy dough. Excuse me. So I'm just going to do this just a little bit longer. I almost got it. I want to kind of keep it dry and lumpy, but it does have to hold together well enough to be rolled out. So I'm going to set out some parchment paper to line my counter here, and I'm going to get out my rolling pin. I'm probably going to use my French rolling pin. I like the French rolling pins better, and they're easier to clean. And I'm going to roll out my bottom pie crust for my chocolate cream pie. So I am now rolling out that nice flaky dough that I made earlier, getting it nice and thin, and I need it rolled out a bit bigger than my pie pan. I think my pie pan, I believe, is a 9-inch, so I'm going to want this bit more than 10 inches or more rolled out. And then I am going to lift this up when I think I have it big enough and gently pop it into my pie pan. So I think I'm about to that point. Okay, so the pie crust has been rolled out. I did the most scary part, which is always lifting it off the parchment paper and into my pie pan. I got the edges trimmed so it's fit in the pie pan perfectly. And now I'm just going around the edges with a fork and just putting little indentations so that my pie crust has a cute little design on it. Alright, so before I popped the crust into the oven to pre-bake, I just poked it all around with a fork, get some holes in there so it's not going to bubble up and get weird. The crust went into the oven at 450 degrees. I had it in there for 8 minutes, covered in aluminum foil, and I just now removed the aluminum foil, and now it's in there uncovered for another 5 minutes, and then the crust comes on out, and then I'll be working more on the filling. Alright, so the crust is out of the oven, it's been cooling, and I just finished making the homemade chocolate cream for the chocolate cream pie. So let me just look at my recipe and I'll read to you what I did. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so in this pan here, I put in 3/4 cup of white sugar, 1/3 cup of sweetened cocoa powder, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, mixed all those together, and then I added 2 2/3 cups of milk. I put it on to medium to medium-high heat on the stove, mixed that in, kept stirring it until it thickened, then I turned down the heat to about a medium-low, and kept stirring it for a few minutes longer. Alright, and then I left the burner on, but I moved it from the burner for a minute, and I took 4 beaten egg yolks, and I added just about a 1/2 cup of the chocolate mixture to the bowl for the egg yolks, and mixed it really quick to temper the egg yolks so that the heat wouldn't just suddenly cook them. And then I slowly added that mixture back into here and mixed it together. So you want to temper the egg yolks in, or you're going to have cooked egg lumps in your chocolate cream, and that would not at all be desirable. Alright, and then I brought this mixture up to a boil, kept on stirring. When you make the chocolate cream, it's lots and lots of stirring. And once it got to a boil, I turned it down to a low simmer. I stirred it continuously for another 2 more minutes, and then I removed it from the heat. I put in a tablespoon of butter, 1 1/2 tablespoons of vanilla extract, got that mixed in really well, and here I am. So now it is time to add my homemade chocolate cream to my homemade pie crust. Now, sometimes it seems like this makes a bit too much, but it never makes not enough. It always makes enough. So if I have a bit left over, then we'll have a chocolate pudding or whatever, a bit of a snack. So let's pour it in and see how much of the pie crust it fills up. It is thick chocolatey goodness. The house smells like chocolate extremely. All right, it's going to be just enough. I love it when it's like that. I love it when it comes out perfect. Most of the time it does. I've only had a few times where for some reason it seemed like it was too much. Oh, that is starting to look really nice. So I'm going to finish scraping that in, and then we're going to work on the top of the pie. All right, I am so thankful to have my KitchenAid mixer because it's great for making meringue. I just made a nice, beautiful, fluffy meringue in my KitchenAid mixer. So here's what I did. All right, I put in 4 egg whites, a teaspoon of vanilla, a half teaspoon of cream of tartar, and a half cup of white sugar. And then I just let my KitchenAid mixer whip it up into stiff peaks. So now I got my homemade crust with my homemade chocolate cream in it. So now I'm going to just take out the meringue and just start setting it all over the top. All right, so I got the meringue spread on top. Now what I'm doing is I have some strips of aluminum foil, and I am just carefully putting them around the edges of the pie where the crust is so that the crust edges hopefully won't get too crispy. And then I'm going to carefully move this into the oven. I have the oven at 325 degrees, and it's going to be in there for about a half hour, and then the chocolate cream pie will be done.
Alright, I am now making the pumpkin pie, so I'm just trying to shake some of the milk out of this. So what I first need to do is make the crust. So I need to mix together 1 1/3 cups of flour with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and then add some milk and butter and just some other stuff. So yeah, I'm just making the pumpkin pie right now, and I'll check back later. Alright, I am now just rolling out the pie crust, and I gotta get it big enough to cover the whole pie pan, so I gotta get it really thin. Yeah, I'm just working on that. I have the crust all set up, as you can see, and now I'm gonna just cover it over with some aluminum foil and then put it in the oven for a little bit, and then I think we're gonna work on the filling after that.
Alright, so chocolate cream pie just came out of the oven, and my daughter is working on the pumpkin pie, and she has also, while I've been doing all this cooking, has been working on her cake. So after she's done with the pumpkin pies, probably when I'll go and insert some footage of her working on the gorgeous cake that she is making today. Now, as for my stuffing, I am doing the exact same stuffing recipe I do every year, so the same one that I showed you last year. The only difference is I had scallions this time. I don't think I did last year. So I added scallions into it, and it's, oh my gosh. Oh, it smells so good. So yeah, the stuffing is almost ready.
I'm working on the pumpkin pie filling. What you need to put in it is, what I already have in it is just a can of pumpkin, a cup of evaporated milk, and some flour. But now I need to put in sugar, butter, ginger, cloves, cinnamon, vanilla, and 2 eggs. So I'm just gonna put in the stuff, and yeah, there we go. I have the pumpkin mixture all done, and the baked crust is over here, so I'm just gonna pour it into the crust, and then I think we bake it some more to bake the filling. The pumpkin pie that my daughter made is in the oven.
So I am now finishing up making my cabbage salad. It's the same cabbage salad that I made last year. You can see in that video from my last year's Thanksgiving video, except I have scallions this year, so instead of putting in regular onions, I put in scallions. So now I'm just finishing mixing up my cabbage salad, then it's ready to chill in the refrigerator. Here's what it looks like. Alright, so while the pumpkin pie is in the oven, I am now making cranberry muffins for tomorrow morning's Thanksgiving morning breakfast. And I have them all here in a muffin tin, and as soon as the pumpkin pie comes out, I'm going to heat the oven a bit warmer. I'm going to bring it up to 400 degrees, and I will stick these in there for about 18 to 20 minutes or so. And then it'll be time to get this place cleaned up. So to make these, what I did was I mixed together 1 3/4 cup of flour, 1/3 cup sugar, and then an additional 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg beaten, 3/4 cup milk, 1/4 cup grapeseed oil, and then a cup of coarsely chopped fresh cranberries. I just cut each cranberry in half because I like them kind of big, and then fold that in. So I just mixed all that together, and then I just popped them into a buttered 12 muffin pan. So yeah, as soon as the pumpkin comes out, this is going to go in to bake. And I got less than 10 minutes, but I think while this is waiting to go in and I'm waiting for the pumpkin pie to come out, I'm going to just start organizing this mess and just begin to start cleaning and see what I can get done. Another marshmallow thief? Oh! He's taking it. I gotta get that in the oven before we run out of marshmallows. Marshmallow thieves!
Can you pass me your phone?
Yeah, you are.
It's still... No! Stop it! I hate that! Quiet!
It's parchment paper time!
No!
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving. We are in our jammies, and we are groggy-headed, and we are ready to unwrap presents. The table of presents awaits.
Yeah, and that just counts for everybody except for me. Because I don't even have.
Table of presents.
And you still,
With traffic that keeps going in front of
you
it.
still filming me that.
Oh. All right, with the present wrapping undone, it is time for our Thanksgiving breakfast, which are the homemade cranberry muffins that you saw me making yesterday. So we're going to divvy these out and have our Thanksgiving breakfast. Meanwhile, the turkey is in the oven cooking and it smells good. Okay, so we're setting up the table, setting out the buffet, and turkey is almost carved. My husband's working on that in the kitchen. And we just brought out the sparkling spiders. Let's see, what flavors do we have this year? So we got strawberry daiquiri, cranberry, mango bellini, my favorite, white grape, and pina colada. All right, so we're going to find out who wants what sparkling spider. We're going to pour the drinks. Then the turkey will be ready, and then I will show you a lineup of our feast buffet before we dig in. All right, here is our buffet lineup for our feast. So in here, this is white meat. We just left it in the marinade sauce to keep it moist, and it's really yummy that way. And we got a slotted spoon, so you can choose how much or how little marinade or sauce to have with it. And then we got the dark meat over here. Then we got our cranberries, my famous sweet potato casserole, stuffing, sweet Hawaiian rolls, and cabbage salad. So we're going to pig out, and later on tonight we will have dessert. Oh, she's eating some turkey. She says it's really good. Very cute. Well, feast part 1 is done. I am full. It's kind of messy in the kitchen and the dining room, but I did get the leftovers put away. We're not really going to worry about cleaning up until feast part 2, which is going to be later, which will be the dessert round. And we're probably going to head out in a little bit and do a little bit of shopping. I'm hoping to hit a Michael's. I'd like to get some stuff, some planner stuff, of course. And then when we get back, we should be ready to have the dessert round. That would be feast part 2. Well, we just got back from shopping a few sales. And mainly I just wanted to do Michael's, so that's the only place I got some things from. And yeah, it was a fun little outing. We're getting ready to have our dessert round of our feast here in a little bit. But first I wanted to show you what I got from Michael's. Oh, by the way, at Michael's, I got to meet one of the people who watches my videos. So it's a nice woman. She is out visiting her sister for Thanksgiving, and they were at Michael's too, and we were in line together. So yeah, she said that she recognized me and likes my videos, so hi! All right, so let's see what goodies I got from Michael's on my little shopping excursion. Whee! All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna take things out of the bag in whatever order. All right, so I am working on a mini happy planner I've been playing with, so I needed some more stuff for it. So I needed more filler paper. The mini happy planner, it's a chunky mini happy planner, and I've been playing in it for a while, and I have like 5 sheets of blank filler paper left. So I was so glad that I found some more filler paper. So I got 2 packages of that. And then I got some mini happy planner covers. Pretty. And then I got some snap-on covers. I like this color. I don't know if I like the word big plans that much, but it's cute. So, yeah, I mean, it's on sale, so why not? All right. Then we got, these are page protectors. So I can use these to put in journaling cards, photos, routine cards. I have them for the classic happy planner. They're fun. So when I saw that they had some for the mini happy planner, I grabbed some. Then we got some folders, of course. And I picked up some gold expansion discs because I have them in different colors, but I don't know that I have gold. I don't know. I think I did at one point. I think I have some gold, but I don't seem to have a whole set anymore. So yeah, I thought, well, you know, I need some classic gold because that goes with about everything. Okay, and I got some Keep It Closed bands, elastics. I got a dashboard for the mini. I thought this was really cute. And I went ahead and got myself a 2018 dated mini. I've been working in an undated. and I really do prefer dated. So I'll probably continue in the undated for the rest of November and December, and then move to this one for 2018. And it was very hard choosing which cover. Now I make my own covers, and sometimes I use the snap-ins or the other covers that come in the pack. But I still like to get one that I like the cover of, so that I have another cover option. And I love this cover, and the inside is black and white striped, which I love as well. So I went for this. The discs don't so much matter to me on the minis, because these discs will be going. They will be upgraded probably to either 1.5" aluminum ones from Staples, or to these 1 3/4" Happy Planner ones. So I'm going to play around later and see. Alright, and then there was some washi tape. I don't know, I think this is Recollections brand. Yeah, here we go. And it was 2 for the price of 1. It was $8 for 2 of them. Now I could do that, or I can get half the amount for 9 something and just 1 for Happy Planner. So obviously I went for this deal. Recollections, much better deal. So I let my daughter pick out one, and she picked out this one. She especially likes the unicorns. And I picked out this one. I especially like that tape right there. And I think I got one more thing. I got some binder clips. I like this size binder clips, and what really sold me on this one was the bow binder clips there. I like all 3 designs, but this is my favorite. And then this one I like with the little hearts, and then this one I like these little like kind of polka dots. But the bow one sold me on this, and this was the last one in the Michaels store that I was at. So I was blessed that I was able to get that. So yeah, this was my little Black Friday / Thanksgiving evening shopping excursion. Since I'm a rewards member, I got to get in early. So I got all of these on Black Friday sale, plus I had a coupon that gave me 30% off entire purchase, even sale items. So that was a nice savings. All right, well, we are going to get ready for our feast, so I'm going to line up our desserts for our feast part 2, the dessert round. Alright, so part 2 of the feast, the dessert lineup. So we have the chocolate cream pie that I made. We got the pumpkin pie that my daughter made. We've got this beautiful cake that my daughter made. And then we have the cranberry cobbler that I made. So we are getting ready to dig into the dessert round.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
It's beautiful.
Ready.
I love how that looks.